You know, there are just some games you don't want in your collection. Have I said that the 90s were weird? I feel like I have, and this is just another affirmation of that. I played Wacky Funsters, man. I played Wacky Funsters. I thought it would be fun, you know, play a bad video game, make a funny video. But about 10 minutes into that experience, I wanted to die. I played Wacky Funsters. All right, here we go. We open up with what the 90s classic computer nerd stereotype looked like, sitting in front of his computer where I'm pretty sure he has exactly 3 frames of animation, if I counted correctly. Mouth agape in awe of what he's looking at. I mean, just look at the face. He is utterly entranced with his screen. Like me when I first discovered porn on my family computer when I was but a wee lad. But that's beside the point. After a good, solid few more frames of animation and a wholly uncalled for close-up, we finally see what our buddy the Geekwad is so enthralled by. And what is it? It's credits? Credits? Oh, okay, but they're funny credits. You know, everyone has some sort of silly, wild nickname, and later on in the special thanks, they thank the guy who invented dental floss, anyone who's offended by this game, which, by the way, too late, I'm already there, and the letter B in the number 2. What? This is like something I would have done in the 6th grade at the end of a book report for a fake book I made up, and I knew the teacher didn't plan on reading through it. All right, well, after that painfully bad, overly long joke finishes, the screen starts being corrupted and our hero gets sucked into his computer to continue on with terrible 90s cliches. Then we finally get our title screen, Wacky Funsters, the Geekwad's Guide to Gaming. Oh, well, thank goodness! I'm awash in too many video games, my dearest Geekwad. Please, show me the light. Show me the truth. Guide me through the hobby that is gaming.
Go home, Jericho.
Ah, software theft protection. Gotta be honest, this part is actually pretty good. If you're unfamiliar with old PC games' anti-pirating measures back in the 80s and 90s, the way they used to ensure that you had a legit copy of the game was usually by asking bizarre questions of the player on screen that the player then had to open a very specific book to a very specific page to find the answers to. Some games would ask specific questions about characters in its games that could only be found on some of the stuff that came in the box. Sometimes it was in the manual, sometimes it was bizarre trading cards. It really was kind of its own thing. So here it's asking bizarre questions that you can make up your own answers to in the guise of software protection. Decent for a quick smirk and a chuckle, and probably the funniest this game will end up being. Just bask in it while you can. Shortly thereafter, we're dumped in front of King Wacky III, implying that there were 2 before him, and God knows how that name made it past the first king before someone even said, yeah, you know what, let's stop that there. Here in the legendary Funster Computer Kingdom, he's apparently dying and has been waiting for someone as brave and bony as I am. A curse has been put upon him and his kingdom, where he's now old and decrepit, and his beloved games are now, and I fucking quote, abysmally cheap and tawdry. No, game. You cannot do that. You can't up front tell me the games I'm about to play are gonna be bad. No, that's not an excuse. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry that you bought this $10 million car from me, but hey, just an FYI, it runs on the souls of pigeons and leaves a trail that smells like human fecal matter for approximately 3 months. Hey, I told you up front, so no refunds, okay, your car now, be gone, no, it's your car now, you bought it, it's too late. No, man, no. Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe it's just a joke, right? I mean, the game has been cracking jokes, kinda, and we're only 5 minutes into the game. We haven't even seen a game yet. Yeah, let's get it together. Let's just keep playing. Continue, Sir Wacky III. I am gratefully relieved you have arrived before my final hour. Many times as the sun has set on yet another day clouded by dexterity doom, for you see, my kingdom is in great peril, and you alone must... Okay, stop! No more plot. No, stop it. Why is there so much talking and plot to this game about minigames and stupid jokes? The kingdom is cursed, the king might transform, I'm gonna return to him between games, yada yada yada. This game has more plot in its opening few minutes than the entirety of the Dark Souls series. And I don't see Vadi Vidya in here covering this crap. All right, fast forward through this garbage fest. And we're brought to a coat of arms with 5 symbols representing the 5 games that we can play. Let's start with Muscle Arm. All right, lounging on a beach and buff Donald Trump comes along and kicks sand in our face before walking away. And boy, if that doesn't remind me of the politics of today. Big guys with muscles. That's the name of the game, I guess. Then your old school teacher pops on the screen and teaches you the controls and talks way too long, followed by a dude named Bud with no crack shirt. Jokes. And a can of beer to tell me all about who he is and why he's gonna beat me up, and God, I just don't care. Okay, finally, some gameplay. What the fuck is this? What is this? It's like Street Fighter if Street Fighter had a budget of exactly $7.35. You have a high attack, which is an ink pen squirt, and a low attack, which is like a joke boxing glove. And your objective is to fight them until they hit the edge of the screen, kind of this weird sumo way. The hitboxes don't make any sense, and there are times where I swear I am hitting them and nothing happens. My second opponent is a big muscly guy at least, and he throws dumbbells at me while looking like he's about to explode every time he flexes. Look at him. Look at him. That is nasty. What is even happening? How is that okay? Is he okay? It's so gross. This is a next game, please. This is disgusting. Next game. Oh, sorry, Wade, we can't play the next game yet. We have to go back to the throne room, and our king has turned from an old man to Elvis. If Elvis's face melted and someone who only had a passing understanding of who Elvis was put his face back together for him. Apparently, we have to answer some quiz questions because, I don't know, who gives a shit before we can play any other game. But all of these questions are food puns based off Elvis songs, and only after we answer 3 correctly can we move on, and they're all awful. Every single joke is awful and terrible. It makes me feel a bit better about my comedy, I guess, a little bit. So there's, I guess, there's a silver lining to everything. Next game. All right. Let's, colorful dots. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is it with this game and horrendously disgusting muscle guys? After an unnecessary lore dump and backstory, the 2 muscle guys, through peer pressure, have us take some pills that shrink us, and we go into the ear of a man to fight off steroids from doing something bad. I guess we have to touch the steroids with only our fists, and you can't stop moving. Ever. It just won't let you. If you touch them with any other part of your body, you get bigger, and eventually you just get so buff that you lose the game. That's a life lesson, kids. You lose the game of life. This is basically asteroids. Like, shitty asteroids. Get it? They took the A out of asteroids, and then you kind of have like steroids, kind of. It's terrible, and I hate it. Next.
Oh, LOL. The king is a cheese guy now. Answer cheese questions.
All right. Let's play Squished Animal. Okay, so it's a bad hard driving. At least the other 2 games tried to have comedy. This is just a blatant ripoff of Hard Driving, except they also put a Rolling Stones keychain thing in the car. Is that legal? Were they allowed to do that? I mean, who am I kidding? Probably not. And the Rolling Stones sure as hell didn't play this game, so it didn't really matter. Premise is simple, I guess. Hit certain things for points, avoid other things to not lose points, and you can shoot missiles. Problem is, you can't actually see any of the objects coming up until it's dead in your face, and at that point, it's way too late to avoid it. It's just boring and bad. I kept hitting things over and over again, and I just couldn't stop it. It wasn't good. You can hit gas cans to give yourself more time to play this game, but let's be honest, avoid the gas cans and end the pain as soon as possible. Oh boy, the king's now a comedian and I have to finish his jokes with good punchlines to move on. At least this one lets me finish his jokes with how this game makes me feel. All right, next up is the Looney Tunes cat at the top. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my good God, that was like unnecessarily violent. Ramby versus Blambo? I don't even think Ramby is still alive. It's already game over. Blambo won. So it's just, it's a shooting gallery, but like the rest of the game, a garbage fire of a shooting gallery. You could play as either Ramby with a gun or Blambo with a gun. The only difference is what you're shooting at in the background. Nothing shoots back at you. You can't take any damage. You're just kind of pointing and clicking. Also, what in the hell are those sound effects? I don't... What? What is that noise when you shoot literally anything except for Ramby or Blambo? Why does everything else sound like my sound card is corrupted and Satan is trying to worm his way into my brain through my headset? Oh my, you listen, really, that's the noise? That's the noise these things make when you shoot them? Wop, 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 wop. I'm done with this one. I'm done with it already. I'm sorry. What do you want me? Oh, it's a bad shooting gallery. I'm done. Wait, what? No. Bring that back. Hang on a second. Did that dolphin, who's in a forest, mind you, just tell me to die infidel? Die in... What? All right. Points for that one. A dolphin in a forest that said die infidel. What is this game? Cool. King Tut is a surfer bro now, and he's asking me history questions. F off. All right, well, one game left. The tennis rackets. The world champion ping competition. I'm gonna go off on a limb here and say this is probably a Pong ripoff. Upside is that it's really hard to screw up Pong. Oh, the classic Japanese man that screams Japanese car brands cliche. I'm pretty sure that might be a little racist. Like, just a little bit. Yep, it's Pong. The audience is all right. Well, the one silly looking dude in the back there had me entertained for about a second, so that's a win for this one, I think. Well, that's all the games. So, did we win? Oh, hey, the king is now a King Kong ripoff, and we're sent back to choose another game. So it just keeps going. There aren't any other games to play, no secret ones hidden or anything. How many more kings am I supposed to get through here? Why would they think for a second I want to play any more of these games a second time? Haha, well, screw you, game. I'm just gonna pick Ping and lose on purpose. And the king is now a cowboy asking me Western movie questions. All right, I will not bow to you, game. Another lost game of Ping it is. Aha, all right, and there it is. The king is healed. We did it. The curse is lifted. He's young and very early 90s looking with a tad of late 80s mixed in. And the kingdom is saved. Does that mean all of his games are no longer cheap and tawdry and are of good quality? No. The game's terrible. The game is just terrible. I don't know if the game was supposed to be a joke program, but it doesn't seem like it was, and there were weird joke programs back in the 90s, so I wouldn't put it past it, but everything I've read about it doesn't seem like it was supposed to be a joke video game, even though there's such bad humor in it. And if the humor hadn't fallen so flat, if the humor wasn't so terrible, the game would have at least been good for a laugh, even if the gameplay itself was terrible. But not only are the games all uninspired reimaginings of better video games from the days past, but the humor is forced and arbitrary and not funny. I don't even want to judge this game, man. I don't even want to give it a rating, like to the gallows with it. Is that something? So I, the Honorable Judge Mathas, sentenced this game to death? I honestly looked for a boxed copy. I did. I looked for a boxed copy, but the only copy I could find was just the 3.5A floppies of it. No box, no manual, but I know a boxed copy is out there. And you know what? I know I said there are some games that should not go into a collection, but by God, I'm gonna hunt it down and I'm gonna put it on my shelf and I'm gonna look at it and judge it for the rest of its existence, or at least until I decide I can no longer look at it and I throw it into a burning pile of fire and I smile and cackle as it burns before me. But that's just me. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Judge Mathas. I hope you enjoyed. My question to you for this episode is, what is the worst game you've ever played? I just lay it on me, man. I need a list of bad games, because every once in a while in the good stuff that I play, I get an urge to just self-torture. So list the bad stuff, let me know what's terrible out there, and maybe you'll see one of those games up there at some point. At least I can rest easy knowing Wacky Funsters never got a sequel, right?